because we're going to bring the panel out very soon. Look, Arsenal for me tonight, I had their game on as well. I think it's a disgrace, by the way, that you had the two smaller teams on one night and the two big teams on the next. How UEFA has allowed this to happen is a disgrace. It's one game, but I am going to say this. Do you remember people saying, well, we can't really judge Saka's ability until we see him in the Champions League? It took him 8 minutes to show everybody this man is world class. He is. Arsenal tonight were absolutely out of this world. They're clicking. They've already been good this season. And tonight you just saw scintillation. Tonight you just saw goals. You saw ability. You saw a team win the game early and then shut it down for the remainder of the match. And I'm not going to lie. I was watching it as a Manchester United fan. And I am genuinely jealous of how good Arsenal are. I'm jealous of how good they are. It pains me to see how good they are. Now, of course, they play PSV. We play Bayern Munich. So that I'm not stupid. I understand we had a much harder game than Arsenal tonight. But still, they look red hot. And I think they're only just getting warmed up. They're not even white hot yet. And unless you barbecue, you'll understand what I mean. White hot is hotter than red hot. And I think they've got gears to go up. The confidence they're going to gain from this. And do you know what they were able to do? This would be painful for the Spurs fans. They were able tonight to be able to take off star players early because they made that game so simplistic and comfortable. And that, for me, I was talking to Lee Gunner about this a few days ago. That, for me, is why I think they're such a talented side, because they're able now to control games, which last year they were winning matches, blowing teams away, but I don't ever feel like they were in full control. Arsenal now have that in abundance. In abundance, Arsenal have that. Jesus back on the goal-scoring front. Trossard just absolutely out of this world tonight. And do you know what's really interesting? When the rest of the team start turning up, I thought, by the way, Kai Havertz played all right. I thought he did okay. He did good. He did okay. But no one will care because they won 4-0. You can carry a player. Declan Rice looks made for Europe, looks made for the Champions League. And I think most football people knew he would. And I've been saying this for a year. People are genuinely fearful of Arsenal. And I don't mean grown men quaking in their boots, hiding under their beds, saying, Mummy, I need some bitty. I just mean everybody knows they're the real deal again. And they've still got levels to grow. It's as simple and as straightforward as that for me. It pains me to continue having to praise them. But I felt this pain about Liverpool and City for the past 6-7 years doing this job that I have, praising my rivals, especially when they're better than me, as in better than my club. It's painful to watch, but they were just out of this world today. And again, we knew they were going to be. Everybody knew Arsenal were going to be this good, but the doubters will put them down. And listen, they win. This is what I want to say is a sobering thought for rivals. They beat, who are they playing? North London Derby, Spurs, this Sunday. Points-wise, it's a better start to the campaign than last year. Better defensively, better control of games. I think the stat they use for that now is tilt. But essentially, that's when a team is more dominant, is barely conceding chances. And what a start to life back in the Champions League for the Gooners. They were out of this world. They really were. This here says, Terry and AFTV moving like Arsenal won the Champions League. Not really. I'm praising them for the performance they had tonight. It's a long way to go for them. But actually, when you look at this opening round of games, you've had, listen, everyone will tell you Man United are trash. Bayern Munich are currently ranked as the second favourites to win it. They did concede 3 goals to a very poor Man United team tonight. Real Madrid struggled at home against Union Berlin. PSG looked decent last night. They played a good side. But the only 2 teams so far in the Champions League that have been scintillating has been Arsenal and Man City. Let's not kid ourselves about that. Mr. Terry, she said yes. So we've got to be patient and ride it out. We'll be fine. The Glazers get that F out is what OK says. Thank you, bro. Tevin here is a gooner. Says, I think what we saw was a non-clinical team trying to play an open game against us, and we cut them apart. We were still sloppy, but 4-0 for the first Champions League night. I'm buzzing. I wrote that down, bro. That was one of my notes here. It's scribble because I scribble when I'm writing, but it was one of my notes. I wrote down PSV attacked, and I said, and they got punched up. And that's true. And something a lot of gooners have been telling me for a while, and I think it stands to reason, is a lot of teams now sit back deep against them. My brother, by the way, he's staying with me at the minute. He's a bit older than me as well. He hates the term low block. He just went sitting deep, bruv. Why are you saying low block? He said the kids understand it better. But teams sit really deep against them. PSV tried to attack tonight. And I know this is what I don't know where I feel about this. People say, no, play your philosophy. Don't change your style of play to adapt to certain teams. I disagree. I think you have to be smart at times. Don't be jealous yet. I'm going to wait until Arsenal actually win a major trophy. I understand you, but I can smell it. I can smell it, bruv. 100%. Saka is not the one to talk about tonight. It's Odegaard. Look, Odegaard was, of course, brilliant as well, and he's been mentioned in this. I kind of mentioned Saka because people have told me you can't rate him until he's done it in the Champions League, and it took him 8 minutes. You know, but Odegaard's one of the biggest mistakes in Real Madrid's history. I know they have Jude Bellingham right now. I understand they have Jude Bellingham. But when I watched Real Madrid last year, they were crying out for somebody with his ability centrally, who can maybe drift out to that right-hand side. Allowing Arsenal to have him for the price they did is one of the most stupidest pieces of business I have ever seen in my life. Genuinely one of the dumbest piece of businesses I've ever seen in my life. And do you know what I think's fantastic about Odegaard? I know, look, he looks great. His body, the way he positions his body, the way he pirouettes, the way he's so balanced and glides past people. All of that is amazing. Eye test wise, he's out there. But his outputs. This guy creates and he scores, and he's only getting better and better. Nobody's calling him Gibraltar guard anymore, are they, Mr. League Gunner? Havertz 006, one more game, buddy. Mount next. Listen, Chelsea fans, that is all you've got. Legitimately, imagine that's all. I love you, Dyke. You're a long-time super chatter at the terrace. But imagine that's all you've got is the double. Again, and this is the irony. The 007 stuff only really matters when your team ain't doing well. But Arsenal are having a better start to the season than last year and progressing. Not going to be that worried. A few will, but most won't. Most won't. Hey, Terry, how are you, Terry? Bayern will give Arsenal a slapping. No, they won't. Arsenal right now, in my opinion, are better than Bayern Munich. Because Arsenal would be harder for them to break down. But if Man United are creating chances against you, what are Arsenal going to do to them? Arsenal beat them. Arsenal beat them, in my opinion. Especially over 2 legs. Arsenal beat them. Raya can't be dropped. Listen, Raya's the new number 1. I think the answer came out tonight, people. A Bayern fan, you didn't give up. Big up Man United. I respect that. You're seeing it from your perspective. I kind of felt like we did at times. I see our shoulders down. But then we went and scored 3 goals. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just disappointed that we lost. Maybe the panel is going to tell us something different. Don't sit deep against Arsenal and we'll find space, is what Chris says. I agree. I do feel now that Arsenal playing in midweek will have momentum. Yeah, imagine what this feeling is going to give them going into that North London. Listen, 2 games a week. People get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and do 12-hour shifts lugging things around every day. Footballers can play 2 games a week. With the diets they have, the recovery, the sports science, the doctors, it's easy. It's easy for them. Trust me. And they love it. They're living their best life. When you're winning as well, you don't even feel fatigue. Odegaard body movement is Arteta coached, but agree. See, I don't think so. So I think the way he moves that's natural.